Jason Momoa is quite sexy in this movie. He is. Look at that buff chest if he is. Okay, now you get to see his face. Crazy over the top post apocalyptic type of movie. Think about Escape from LA. That's the vibe of this film. If you like that sound already, check this movie out. Let me know what you think. Review over for all of you that left. For the rest of y'all, let's get into it. Well, if you're wondering what this movie is about still, basically this is set in a time where if you do any kind of crime, they kind of send you off to this walled off area. I think they walled off like a few states or something like that. It's basically like a desolate wasteland, post-apocalyptic area where they just leave all the prisoners. Think of Australia, right? When they dropped off all the prisoners from England over there back in the day. It's pretty much like that, but more modern times. And it's bad here. It's really bad here. People, they leave you like right on the outskirts. You get like a burger and like a thing of water, and they just kind of leave you out in this hot sunny desert. But very quickly you're kind of left to the wolves. In this case, Jason Momoa's people, they play a group of cannibals, and they just get all newcomers. Anybody that comes by new, they hunt them down and strip them down, and treat them like cattle. Basically, if they somehow make it through that, if they somehow escape that or survive it in whatever kind of way, then they end up in Keanu Reeves' area, which is kind of the more friendly area. Just people just basically trying to live and be a part of a society of some sort. Suki Waterhouse plays Arlen, the main character. She's the female in the picture. I think of her as a whirlwind of a character. I'll say she's the one that the movie kind of shows the lens through. She's the one that gets dropped off with the burger and the water and sent along her way. She's the one that shows you what happens to people when they first get there. She gets immediately kidnapped by cannibals. They immediately cannibalize some of her body. It's pretty interesting how quickly she just gets dumped into it. It's very interesting. But what makes her character very interesting is, I don't know, I can't remember if they say exactly what she did to end up there, but she is a very effective character. Her involvement, her being there, shakes up so much with these two men in their environments, in their communities especially. She has no regard for other people. She doesn't. She just goes through and just does her own thing. Damn the consequences. Like, she really shakes it up for these two guys here. She kind of, in a sense, really destroys their world in a different way. Jason Momoa has a family. Again, he's involved in a community of cannibals. He's got basically a wife and a daughter, and they're all just hanging out there, eating people. It's a weird contrast. He's such a loving father. He's even like an illustrator and a painter. He's all buffed out and got cleavers and stuff. It's an interesting contrast to film. Not only that, he plays like a Hispanic dude from Miami, which he doesn't do the accent quite as well, but just the whole overall character is very fascinating. I won't ruin too much. I'll just say she kind of shakes up his family dynamic a bit in a very negative way, and he basically kind of goes on a bit of a rampage, looking for the culprit who did it, not knowing that it's her. Without ruining too much, I'll leave it at that part. They end up kind of being a partnership of sorts. Again, him not knowing exact what she did. She's trying to find some kind of solace, some kind of encampment at Keanu Reeves' place. He's got a nice setup going on. He basically plays like a mafia don who just runs this whole post-apocalyptic civilization. He's got all these women with like guns and drugs, and he's got the power on the water, and we don't exactly know why he's able to do it, but meanwhile everywhere else is a wasteland. People in his community get to party on drugs and fall asleep outside on couches. Jason Momoa's community is just eating folks. Like it's like either or you get to be in the desert. Jim Carrey's in this movie. His role is very fascinating too. Without ruining too much, he actually doesn't speak at all in the film. At all. That's very interesting. Trivia note, did you guys know this was not filmed on a soundstage at all? That means it was filmed in very extreme conditions, especially when it came to high heat. They actually did it out in like the desert. It feels like it. The ambiance here is very hot. You don't want to be out there very long. Another note, did you guys know this movie was actually shot in just 28 days? Overall, it's a good film. It's an interesting film. It's a very interesting look into, again, a kind of an escape from LA, kind of a society, a kind of theme. But it does kind of fall flat in the end, and ultimately, I don't root for her character. She's supposed to be kind of the main character, but I wouldn't call her the protagonist, if that makes sense. She's not a great person. None of them are. The Bad Batch. Anyways, check it out. Let me know what you think. Have a good weekend.